Hey there, welcome to my channel. Thanks for being here. If you're new, it's nice to have you. If you've been here before, it's nice to see you again. I'm back with another video. This time I will be showing you a little bit of removal of the last set that I had on, which was the last one I posted, the gingham nails. And I'll also be showing you a nail fix. This pointer finger I showed in a previous video had a crack in it, which I fixed with polygel. And I decided this time around to just remove the part of the natural nail that was broken and use this as an opportunity to try out using nail forms, because I've wanted to learn how to use nail forms. I don't think I've ever sculpted a nail before with them. And it's just something I feel like would be fun to do. So you saw me removing that last design, and now I'm taking a file. Look how funny those look. And I am removing the excess gel on that pointer finger. And I also just filed it down to the point where there was a crack. A lot of people, when they use nail forms, will file down basically right to the hyponychium, or that like area where the skin attaches under the nail. But because I want to just grow out the extension and eventually have my natural nail length again, I didn't do that. And I'm coming to you now having worn these for 3 weeks, and I can tell you that there was no issue with that. It worked just fine. So you'll see that I'm using a form. This is a Light Elegance form. I know that some forms are better and worse. I couldn't tell you how this compares to other ones because, again, it's my first time making an extension like this. But I went ahead and cleansed the nail with surface cleanser and then applied Protein Bond from Young Nails. And I almost went directly in with builder gel after that, but I remembered that, oh wait, not all gels can be used without a base coat. So that first thing you saw me applying there was actually a base coat. I'm used to Luminary gel, which is a base coat and a builder gel in one. So, yep, almost did an oopsie there, but luckily I caught myself. So now I'm taking Build Gel by Young Nails, and I am doing my very best job to create a little bit of a nail extension. And I'm doing this in 2 steps. So the first step is just to sort of lay out the shape and the length that I'm looking for roughly. I'm curing it. And then you'll see here that I take it off and ta-da, my beautifully sculpted nail. Just kidding. It looks kind of crazy, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so from there, I'm taking a file and I am just taking down the length a little bit because that is longer than I need. And I'm also just shaping the edges. Wow, this file looks really crusty and dusty, huh? It's time for me to switch it out. I only use this on myself, to be clear. But anyway, I'm just sort of evening this out and creating the canvas for the layer of builder gel that'll be kind of creating the apex and the strength and the thickness of the nail. This was hard to capture. So yeah, I'm sorry that sometimes I'm going off frame, but the gist of it is I'm just sort of roughing it up, getting it sort of uniform and roughly in the shape that I want before applying some more gel. And here's that more gel. I took like basically a thin layer, a slip layer, and then a bigger glob there. And I just sort of patted this on the same way I would do a regular overlay on my nails, and I've filmed that process before. So if you're interested in that, I will put the video in the cards here. So here's the final result. I think it looks pretty decent. I will say it blends in very well with my natural nails. So I'm pretty happy with it. So here I am mixing up my own nude. I'm using Izemi products. I don't know if anyone would be interested, but I did film myself unboxing this collection. I've had it since before I started making YouTube videos, so it's not new to me, but it is a fun little collection, so I could post that potentially. But, you know, I don't really do nude nails much, and I don't do Frenches often either. So I don't even really have like a good nude color, I realized, so I had to mix one up myself. Did I do an okay job? Is this an appropriate nude for my skin tone? I don't even know. I don't know. But I liked it enough. So I went ahead and cured, and then I also did apply a second coat of that little nude concoction. And now I am going in and doing some Frenchies. I have done a set of French nails before. They were press-ons. They were a little Christmas gift for my brother's girlfriend. I'll pop a picture of them here. She is a vegan, and she is a big activist in the vegan world. And that makes it sound like she's a very high-profile activist. I don't know that that's true. I just mean she does a lot of activist work with veganism. It's kind of late, by the way. Just a little sidebar. My neighbors downstairs are very loud, and this is now the time where they've stopped making music really loudly, so I can film a voiceover. Anyway, so I'm a little spacey. Apologies for that. But yes, I made French press-on set for her, but that's about it in terms of doing French manicures, French tips. So yeah, basically my strategy here was just to draw a line vertically and then connect it on either side, and to make kind of an elongated nail bed. So I definitely want the nail bed to look nice and full, as opposed to, like, you know, some of the more like maybe 90s or naughty 2000s French tips, which are kind of straight across and might be a little further up the nail. I like the pretty curved ones. This technique that I'm using, I think I saw originally being done by, I can't remember her channel name, but Nailed by Val, Painted by Val. I'll find her name and put it up here. But yeah, this was just a very easy way to map out a French. You can see it right there. Just painting a vertical line up to the point in the middle where you want your French to start, and then painting little guidelines from either side. And I did use the brush to paint in some of the French, but then I went in eventually with the rest of them and did a little bit more work with just the Jelly Fit brush that came with the polish. So now I'm taking these beautiful colors, and I will say I was winging this. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And possibly I didn't need to paint, you know, the whole coral French tip, but I really hadn't been sure up to this point what I was going to do. So I did it this way, but if you were to recreate this, I suppose you don't necessarily need to paint in the French tip. It is nice to have like a guideline, but you could probably just map out the French and then do these little swirlies, you know, on top of just the nude that's underneath. Anyway, I am making basically just little rainbow swirlies. A friend mentioned that they reminded them of a heat map. So alternative title, heat map nails. Love that. Yeah, they definitely do. Another friend said that they remind her of the kind of like dip art that people do sometimes. I feel like with like acrylic paints and that sort of thing. I don't know what that's called actually. Maybe it's not called dip art. But anyway, I think these turned out really cool. And it's pretty simple. One key to doing these is, and it's not necessarily showed in the video because it would take a long time to show, but it's just flash curing in between coats. And you'll see that I did the thumb and the pointer finger just basically on their own. But then when it came to the last three fingers, as I'm showing here, it's kind of more of like an assembly line situation. So I went in with the purple on each of the fingers to start. And then I went in with the blue. and so on and so forth. And that's obviously just helpful because you don't have to constantly be switching out the colors that are on your striping brush. So that's certainly something to keep in mind. But yeah, what do you think of this design? I hope you like it. I will say, I think I've realized after wearing these that I'm really not much of a French person. I got a lot of compliments on these nails, but I didn't really feel myself with them in a way, because I think I like to have, if you can believe it, more going on my nails. Obviously, there's a whole rainbow on these nails, but yeah, having a large chunk of my nail just nude was a little new for me. And yeah, I think French is just not my personal style, although I enjoy making them. I will say I did enjoy drawing the French and all of that. I think, I don't know, maybe my mind will change on this. Also, I just want to point out here that you saw that I used a silicone tool here to just sort of perfect the edges. And I've mentioned it in other videos, but I want to shout it out again. That can be a really nice alternative to using a brush with acetone on it, or alcohol, or acetone and alcohol. The straightness of the silicone tool can really help to create crisp lines, where sometimes when you're using a brush with alcohol, it can kind of almost make the colors bleed a little bit. So yes. Anyhow, flash curing often in between coats so that, again, you have crisp lines. Using a long striping brush is important here too. True with lots of nail art, but you want to use something long so that the length of the brush helps to absorb any shakiness that you have. And also the length of the brush really helps to create smooth bends. Hard to explain, but easy to feel when you're actually using the brush. But yeah, you can make curved shapes more easily, I think, the longer the brush. So that's helpful when you're doing a swirly sort of design. But yes, I think that's about it in terms of things I have to say about these nails. I do want to say quickly, thank you for being here. I feel like I haven't been able to post as much as I want to. These are, again, 3 weeks old. I've had this footage for a while, and it's bumming me out a little bit because I really enjoy posting and chatting with people on here. So let's all hope that my life becomes more conducive to posting. I appreciate that you're here. If you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed. If you leave a comment, I would be forever grateful too. I love chatting with people. And yeah, so lastly here, I'm putting on a matte top coat, and I'm just popping it into Cure. Optional, but what do you think? Would you leave these shiny, or do you prefer them matte? I think they look both great ways. I think they look great both ways. Here's the finished product after a yoga class in the rain, in natural light. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.